All right, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of Behind the Stripes podcast. I'm Rama Peroo, joined as always by Tiger Athletic Hall of Famer, Coach Dave Burroughs. Very excited to have today's guest, all-time winningest coach in Cowley College women's basketball history, Todd Clark. Coach, great to have you with us.
Thanks, fellas. I appreciate you having me over.
Well, Coach Clark is no stranger to Cowley Athletics. Was an assistant coach here for 4 years. Left to go on and do some coaching at NCAA Division I level. Came back to Cowley College and has been the head coach here for the last 22 seasons. So, Coach, it's great to have you with us. You're coming off of a big win at Barton over the weekend, so that was great to see for the Lady Tigers.
Yeah, it was huge for us. Like we're talking about, the tight game, going back and forth, and able to pull away late. So it was huge. I think Barton's a tough place to get a win. It was Hall of Fame day for them, so they had a packed house, so big crowd. So it was a big win for us.
Terrific. Well, Coach, we know a lot about you, but tell us a little bit about life growing up. What was life like for yourself? Where did you grow up, and how did you get instilled with a love of basketball?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of insight as far small town, Coldwater, Kansas, Western Kansas. My dad was a minister. My mom was a legal secretary off and on. My brother is also very competitive. My dad is extremely competitive for a nice minister. He could really compete and get after stuff and was competitive in a lot of different ways. It was interesting. I have a great uncle, Joe Record, who's NAI Hall of Famer, coached at Phillips University when I was young on my mother's side, and just kind of, experienced that a little bit off and on. And I have no idea, but I just have always wanted. I knew from an early age this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I was just lucky enough to be able to stay in the profession and kind of follow what I wanted to do. And it's very nice. I don't know the reason why, but it's just always something I wanted to do.
Yeah, well, sounds familiar to this guy over here.
Yeah.
You were a small town in Oklahoma, but, and baseball just became something that you knew that was ingrained in you. That was what you were going to do.
Mine was a lot simpler than what he was. I knew I was too honest to work or too honest to steal, too lazy to work. So it narrowed it down. There wasn't nothing to do but
There you go.
become a coach. But Coach Record, I remember one time you rode over to Enid with us.
Yeah.
Got to visit with
That was
Coach
the last time
Reck.
I saw him. Yeah.
Coach Gerk, man, that was a memory that I still remember to this day.
I remember sitting next to you and Joe and I just loved every second of it. That was excellent to me.
Yeah, it was a fun time, man. That ballpark over there was really fun to sit at, and I don't even know who played. Could have been the Yankees and the Cardinals for all I know, but we didn't pay any attention. We were too busy telling stories, man.
A lot of fun.
It was good stuff.
Yep.
Well, you talk about Coach Recker and some other coaches. Coach Jerry Jones at Kansas Wesleyan, a real character. I was fortunate enough to get to know him when I was covering the KCAC beat. But you went on to Kansas Wesleyan. How did you end up at Kansas Wesleyan? What was it like to play for a historic coach like Jerry Jones?
A lot of it was camp at Wichita State University. We'd gone there every summer. My brother and I and another friend from in town. That's kind of where I met Coach Jones. He worked that camp a great deal. There were several coaches in that, I guess I should mention I had great junior high and high school coaches, that looked after you, that you looked up to. It's always the story is those guys are wearing shorts and laughing all the time. That's what I want to do.
Pretty good.
Keith hanging from the pants. Yeah, that was good days.
Yeah, it looks like a good job.
Yeah, they still bust you too back in them days.
Yeah,
You get in trouble.
absolutely. So, Coach Jones. Another guy, Rick Shore, that was assistant at Wichita State at one time, was actually in this league a few times, and he's helped me a ton over the years, and just a really good guy. But Coach Jones, that was one guy I got to kind of know within the camp and stuff. And, there's a lot of guys that you touch base with, and he was actually a high school coach at Hillsboro, and he had just gotten the job at Kansas Wesleyan when I was graduating.
Okay, gotcha.
So didn't know a whole lot, but Coach had me up for a visit, and I just felt like I could trust him. That I kind of knew what I was getting. So I just followed Coach up to there. And the one thing about Coach Jones is I wasn't a very good player. I wasn't anything, and he treated me just like the All-Americans and everybody else. He taught me how to get jobs. Helped me in the coaching profession over and over again. Same with Rick Shore, a lot of those guys. So, and that's the biggest thing with Coach Jones. He's always treated me like I was important, even though looking back, there's no reason for him to help me. I didn't do anything to help him, but he's always been super helpful and bent over backwards to help me with a lot of things.
Terrific. Do you notice some of his coaching in your style of coaching now?
Well, I think so. I mean, it's similar. We're both kind of haphazard and are not afraid to throw crazy stuff at people.
Oh, yeah.
My college roommate and I, he was going to be a coach, and he said, he goes, the other day I went back and I wrote down all the plays that we put in this year.
Wow.
It was coach just kind of let you play. It was very interesting. So, but he had an interesting style. His assistant Al Tiller was a really good defensive guy. Tiller was at Capon at one time. He just hard nosed, and it was a good mix between Coach Jones and Coach Tiller. Coach Jones was a little bit more lax, and Coach Tiller was hard nosed, and you had to get after it and you had to practice hard. So good mix between the two.
Terrific. Darren Spence was the coach at Cowley. How did you end up coming to join his staff?
Well, it's kind of the same deal. Darren played at Marymount in Salina, so that's across town. And he had taken some classes at Wesleyan, so I've basically known him since then. I was the girls' coach at Sacred Heart, and he was still coaching at Marymount. And, just kept in touch and got to know each other a little bit better. And then he got after Marymount shut down, he got the Butler job. And so it just over the years, and I was at Newman, and I'd help with his summer camp every year. So I'd go over and do his summer league and all that stuff. So just a long-time friendship, and just got to know him. I was at Pratt JUCO. I was the assistant men's coach, assistant women's coach, and the sports information director.
Wow.
At Pratt. And Darren had gotten the women's job here at Cowley. He says, hey, you want to come over? I would like to have you as my assistant. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I came over for the day and talked and went back home. And I said, so Darren, what are the other duties I got to do? It was none. It was the same pay.
Wow.
I'll be there tomorrow. It didn't take a long time to think about that one. It was a pretty easy answer. So
Definitely.
it was a godsend for me. Yeah.
Terrific. Coach, obviously, you had a 30-year career here. You've seen a lot of coaches that have come and gone quickly. But someone like Coach Clark to spend 22 seasons here, you've been in shoes like that. I mean, that's not easy to do.
Not at all.
To stay loyal to an institution and be here as long as it is.
And not get run off on top of it, So,
sure.
But I have learned one thing this morning that I didn't know. He said he wasn't a very good player, so my mind goes off real fast. Like, well, obviously Kevin didn't get his ability from
Either boy, right?
So there we go. Yeah, Caden either.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So Todd wouldn't have played much at Ark City High.
No.
He should have went to Coldwater High School.
Yeah.
Well, and Coach kind of leads us into that. You've got a couple sons, and I've always, admired that, as busy as you are with the coaching duties that you have here, when you're not coaching, you're recruiting and doing stuff, but you seem to always make the time to be at your kids' events too and things like that. And those two boys grew up in our gym, and that's always been neat to watch them and see them go on and have the success that both of them have had.
Well, thank you. It's been fun. I really miss it.
I'm sure you do.
Caden's still playing football. He's got could have 2 more years.
Excellent. At Southwestern?
Yeah, Southwestern if he wants them. So I've enjoyed that, and obviously enjoyed Odie, watching him play. Another kind of funny story, the boys, junior high boys, were down in the rec gym before, wrestling showed up, and they're playing, running up and down, and the kids are, to my son, Kevin, throw me the ball. Darren Burroughs goes, who the hell's Kevin? Because we all, we call him Odie all the time, and that's all he knew. So
Sure.
it's pretty funny.
When he comes to the gym when he was 4 and 5 years old, I used to chase him around the gym.
Yeah.
Wear my flop because I got some baseball injuries, and he didn't like he liked me, but he didn't like me when I showed up out without any shoes on. Coach Broken Toe is what I
Coach
used
Broken Toe. That was their nickname for
to.
it.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, we saw those kids growing up in the gym, and it's been neat to follow their careers, and as well as both of them are doing. So, your wife, Candy, how did you meet her? How did that all come about?
She played at Garden City and played at Newman, and just, I don't know, she was my assistant coach like the last year I was there or something, and just became very close. I don't know how it all worked out. It just kind of works out.
Yeah.
You know how it is. You
For
just
sure.
But she was a good athlete. She won the state 300-meter hurdles, class 1A.
Boy.
So my one of my favorite jokes, if it's funny, there's a photo of us when Caden was runner-up in the state in high school football here.
Yeah.
So it's state champion 100-meter hurdles, national runner-up NJCAA basketball,
Yeah.
state runner-up high school football, and a guy in a hat.
I can see where that was.
Water boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Water boy.
Yeah, and a guy that's had almost 500 wins, you know, at Cowley. So yeah, that's all. But
Well, now I know why I didn't have a big ego. Not enough room for it in that house.
how'd you put that hat on your head?
Yeah.
No, but Coach, you know, we mentioned how you were at Cowley with Coach Spence. Then you went off to UTSA and had an opportunity to coach at the D1 level there, and then had an opportunity to come back to Cowley. What led you to want to? How'd you get that call, and what led you to come back as the head coach?
This is kind of a fun story. It may be too long for what we're doing, but okay. So I was actually at Northwestern Oklahoma State, and we were terrible. 2 years I was there, and that's mostly my fault. And I got let go. Candy was pregnant with Caden, our second child, and it's July, so I didn't have a job. I was doing a lot of things trying to get a job, but I needed something to do in the evening, so I umpired softball, fast pitch softball.
Yeah.
What fun!
Payday.
Yeah, but it was stuff to do, and I'd go do those things. And I'd also gone to Southeast Missouri and worked with a friend of mine, B.J. Smith, for a few weeks of camp, and the anticipation was that I would get a job to be the assistant at Southeast Missouri. So we need a job. We gotta get back on our feet and blah blah blah. And got home from coaching or umpiring softball, and Candy's laying on the floor throwing up. She's 9 months pregnant.
Oh boy.
Well, I'm not the best. Come on, let's go. No, she's a hard head. I'm not trying. She knows this, and so am I. And so no, we're not going. She had an appointment the next morning. So, and meantime, Stephanie Smith had interviewed for the Daytona Beach job. She was the women's coach after Darren here. So Coach Saya had called me a couple of times. Tom Saya called me a couple of times. Hey, I want you to take this job. Well, Coach, you don't have a job open yet. I go, if you get a job open, I'll talk to you about that job. But right now, you don't have one. He goes, well, Todd, she's going to take it. You know, he is very forceful, and so I was like, okay, Coach, and it would just let me handle this. And I really had anticipated going to Southeast Missouri. Okay, so my wife has, I'm going to forget what it is, something with the pregnancy is bad. God dang it. But anyway, so we go in the next day. As soon as we walk in the door, the nurse goes, we got to get you to the hospital.
Oh, wow.
The doctor comes in, we got to get that baby out of you right now. I'm like, oh, geez. Wasn't prepared for that. So this is July the 2nd. July the 2nd. And take her in. They do a C-section. All this stuff. I remember standing in the room by myself thinking, oh, boy, this is going to be fun. And go downstairs. The doctor calls me downstairs doing the C-section. And I'm not kidding you. He's over in this corner. I'm over in the other corner. And he's working on Candy. And he's got, like, her guts in his hand. Oh. Because he's taking the – I'm just – hey, baby looks good.
Look just like you.
I'm trying not to puke on the floor.
I bet.
So anyway, we get through that, and I get outside, and Coach Saya is ringing me. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There's that park right there from that St. Mary's right there in Enid. Odie's playing on the swing and the slide and going up and down. And I'm on the phone with Coach Saya. He goes, okay, I got a job open. You taking it or not?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Imagine, Coach Saya.
Sure.
You taking it or not? And Southeast Missouri drugged their feet and had no answer for me. They hadn't offered anything, and then just blah, blah, blah. So on the phone, I'm coming to Cowley, Coach. I'll be there.
Terrific.
I was there, I think that was a Saturday or something. I was here on Monday and up and going.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy story. it was pretty stressful for a little bit.
I can imagine. Coach, go right ahead. If you
No,
got something to
typical
tell.
Coach Saya right there.
Absolutely.
Here's your job. You got like 2 minutes to make up your mind because I done offered it to you like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm moving on.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. He's like, you doing this or not? That's
Yeah,
exactly what.
great place though. I mean, timing was perfect.
Yes, it
so
was, yeah.
it was good stuff. I remember when you come back. I remember when you were here the first time, and he used to come down to the field, and back when he was running, and he'd run foul post, and our guys would go, "Who's that?" Like, I don't know. Some guy off the street. Hit him with the ball and get him out of here, would you?
Darren Burroughs, I'd go, hey, can I run some poles? He goes, I don't know why you want to, but go ahead.
You're that dumb.
Better you than me. Shoot. Well, Coach, I'm sure you'd be one to say your success wouldn't be without the players and your assistant coaches. You've had a lot of great assistant coaches through the years. So, and you've had some mentors during your time too. So I know you've mentioned a few of your mentors, but some of the assistant coaches that you've had a chance to mentor, how important have they been to you and the success you've had here at the school?
It's integral. You have to have those people working for you. Jeff Carter was a great X and O guy, a really good man-to-man defensive guy, and we just did what Jeff coached. I worried about the other stuff, and he took care of the matchups and scouting reports and all that stuff. And Katrina came in, took us a little bit to get our feel for each other. But then she left after like 6 years. But we had some really good teams, and Troy was here for 10 years. So
incredible, yeah.
That becomes a close relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It was a long time. The first game Troy and I coached together, we're at Butler, and we're just getting killed. We're getting our teeth knocked in, and I'm losing my mind. I'm on the bench at halftime, just like, what are we doing? Trying to figure out what we're going to do next. And I'm like, where's Troy? I look down scores table, and he's over there joking and laughing. I'm just, oh my God! I was like, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Who's this guy? I've got to get assistant.
That's his personality.
Exactly.
He's so laid back. So we figured it out and got it worked out for 10 years. So
sure did, and it was.
And at Lance Jeffers for a year, and then Vance Lee, and then John Ishii is an old friend of mine. He's retired, and he's helping for free this year. So it's been huge. And Vance and I have known each other like 30 years, just like Darren and I knew each other. So it's been really awesome. I'm having a lot of fun.
I tell you, there must be something about that assistant coaching role. But, boy, they got to be characters or what? Because you've had some characters as some assistants. I mean, Troy Thrasher, Vance, and I'm seeing that in John a little bit, too.
Yeah, absolutely. They're all very personable. And
they are great guys.
When you're in that recruiting role, too, it's you got to be able to talk to anybody and any time. So I think they're very good at all that stuff. And
for sure.
all of those guys have been a huge help.
Yeah, got to have someone to balance you out too.
Oh yeah,
I think that's very important too.
I thought Katrina did that really well. I thought she was a good balance. Kids could talk to her.
For sure.
Yeah.
Plus it was a cool place to be down in that basement before
Absolutely.
we left to go
Hall
to
of
the
Famers
indoor.
up and down the hallway.
So we learned a lot from each other.
Absolutely.
And we pushed each other whether it was on purpose or not. We had to. If you didn't try to keep up, you were going to get left out because people were that good. So it made me better. I know that much.
Reminds me that Gabby Curtis, who's a really good player for us, came down on April Fool's Day. We weren't registering, and had told Katrina and I both in a closed office that she was pregnant. So we just kind of lost our minds and sitting there. And I finally looked at the calendar, and I go, you got to be kidding me. And sure enough, it was an April Fool's joke.
Thank goodness.
She thinks she's funny.
That's right.
Yeah.
To a head coach.
Yeah.
Shoot. Now, Coach, I know you don't have a lot of free time, but when you do, what's something you do when you do have some downtime?
I'm not really good at downtime. I just kind of veg out and watch sports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Play some bad golf every once in a while.
You and
try
me
and
both.
exercise when I can. But,
Yeah.
not very good at that either anymore. But I don't have a lot of hobbies. I don't have a lot of outside things I do. I guess Dave and I are kind of similar in that way too. We don't have a lot of outside stuff.
I think as a coach, I think that's probably what makes you both successful, though, is you're so in tuned into what you're doing to try to make make your teams better. But just for all of us that don't know this about you, What if you're listening to some music? You put on some music. What does Coach Clark listen to?
I am all over the map.
Yeah.
I'm an old blues guy.
Pretty
I like,
eclectic
I like,
taste.
yeah, I like old blues tunes.
Nice.
Johnny Lee Hooker.
Oh,
some
sure.
guys
Yeah.
like that.
Uh-huh.
And old country stuff. And just kind of all over the map, a little bit of everything. So
Gotcha.
there's nothing that I really don't kind of tune in or don't like. The rap right now is kind of over my head, but you
Yeah.
know.
They kind of lost all of us when
Yeah.
we get a little older.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. But I kind of like a little bit of everything.
Sure. What about if you got a rainy day and there's nothing, and you very strange, you have nothing to go to do, what would you put on movie-wise?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sports movies that I can quote word for word and stuff like that.
Anyone in particular that's kind of your favorite sports movie if you had to look at a sports movie?
I like Hoosiers, but
yeah.
several of the baseball movies I just really love. Of course, I'm going blank right now.
Bull Durham.
I love Bull Durham.
Yeah, that's a
I've
great one,
seen
isn't
that
it?
100,000 times.
Uh-huh.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles
Oh,
with John
for
Candy.
sure.
I love that movie. I could watch that every day. It's
So good.
It's so funny.
Uh-huh.
And there's so many good ones, but it's usually a comedy of some kind.
Good deal. Coach, you were here for a lot of the time that Coach Clark was here too, so you had a chance to get to know him. Is there anything about Coach Clark that we don't know that's, or why would you say he's been so successful as he has and been able to be the head coach here for 20 years?
I think he can really coach the game of basketball. He's good at the X's and O's. So I think, then he's driven to do his job, and he wants to be good. So, but like I said, that was kind of how we balanced each other out too. And then following Coach Sy,
Yeah.
You had to be good at your job, or you might not be here either.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but I might know a few things. There's a few things I probably can't say,
Right.
But I will say this: his music is over my head too. Johnny Lee Hooker. I don't. Was that guy a left-handed pitcher with the Red Sox one year? I don't even know. Someone asked me the other day, said, "What concert you been to?" Like all the guys that I listen to are all dead. The Eagles, half of those guys are dead. Leonard Skinner, they're dead.
Yeah.
Doobie Brothers. I mean, does anybody? Probably no one knows who the Doobie Brothers, except us, me and Todd, maybe.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, it was fun. I mean, but we had a good relationship with everybody in that hallway. I mean, just like say up and down, and it was fun to come to work, and we took care of each other, and through the good times and through the bad times.
That's my first day here. My office was, and Dave was in the front office. I was going across the hall for something, and Dave comes in and puts his key in the door. Hey, Coach. Goes right in the door. Don't say, I just come back. I probably hadn't seen him for 4 or 5 years. I don't know. I'm home. You know what I mean? I just like, this is perfect.
You ain't got time to babysit you.
Yeah.
That's right.
I will say one thing. We used to give Coach Clark a hard time his first trial here. 'Cause he was big into cowboy boots, and Lefty was really bad about it. Of course, Lefty's good at talking trash because he did it for like 10 years of professional baseball.
Right.
You could tell I grew up in a small town.
Yeah, but he was all over him about his ponytail boots and killing roaches in the corner. It was hilarious, man. But if you didn't have thick skin around that group of coaches and that athletic director, then you were going to be in trouble.
Right.
Because those times in that office were legendary. Pick'em games and
Pick 'em game.
oh shoot.
And
man.
Mr. Watson joining in.
Oh
and,
yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Working here to get paid at the same time should have been illegal.
It was literally just a fun place to come to work.
Oh,
every
absolutely.
day.
It really was.
Really enjoyable.
For people out there that are listening to that might not know, like we're talking about, do these football picks that we do each week, and we've been doing it for 25 years or longer. Before I got here, I think I took it on
Oh, absolutely.
after I got here. But we had President Dr. Pat McAtee. We can say that now. He's doing the football picks with us. We had Tom Sire, athletic director, and those guys would hang it on each other so good.
crazy.
I mean, they would tape it up on their door, loser with the one that would lose.
That's right. Tom came down to our offices one time after he'd won. Tom's Pick'em service.
Oh yeah.
And he was like,
That was his one and only win too, but man, he hung his hat on it. I'll give him that.
Yeah, they'd be there on Monday morning in their office, like, get in here, and just legendary to listen to those two guys.
It really
go.
was. It really was.
But you've got a former player, Montia Johnson's story, that's going to be going into the Tiger Athletic Hall of Fame here on February 7th. Got to be very proud of her.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you speak a little bit about what that means to have one of your former players going into the Tiger Athletic Hall of Fame, and what was it like to coach Montia?
It was interesting. she was a little bit of a handful in the sense that she was such a nice person.
Yeah.
You kind of had to get her upset, to get her something out of her sometimes. So I'd kind of just needle her a little bit, and when you did, look out, because she'd really come to life and really carried us through a lot of things. So I was watching video. I was trying to for the event, just some old games, just briefly, and we didn't throw her the ball enough. I know that. But Montia had kind of lost her mom at a young age, and was kind of brought up by a family friend and, that looked out for her. Miss Mary did a lot for her and came over and took care of her and helped us out a great deal. And Montia went from here and went to Kent State and had a good career there.
Sure did.
But she was just an incredible athlete. Could really run and jump and played extremely hard and very, very competitive. Very competitive. So it was very enjoyable to coach her, and I'm so proud of what she's become, what she is. Her and her husband run a little basketball group in Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky, so that's pretty neat. Her husband is a vice principal at a private school there in Cincinnati, and they have 2 boys, and Montia kind of stays home with those guys and just kind of does the basketball on the side. So it's exceptional. It's so wonderful. I think that's the best part of the job now is when the kids come back and you get to meet with them and talk to them and tell stories. And I'm really looking forward to that weekend with Monty and her husband.
Absolutely. I think we're so busy when we're younger chasing championships, we forget to chase those relationships.
Well, Saban talked about it. He's got this little video coming out, and you don't get that time to reminisce or talk about the things that you're going through.
What's next? What's next?
How do I get ready for Dodge City? How do I get ready for the next?
You can't enjoy wins.
No.
You labor over the losses, but you don't enjoy the wins.
Yeah.
And you don't enjoy getting to know those kids while they're here.
That's what he was talking about with that. He enjoyed going back and reviewing the seasons and the people that he worked with and the players. And, that's, I think, as you get a little bit older, that's the enjoyable part of all of it, is just this, all the stuff. I'd never gone to weddings. Because you go to one, I heard Jennifer Bonner and Ryan Mullis.
Yeah.
He went to your wedding. That was a former coach. So I just I'll just not go to any, and you don't get in trouble. Well, Mackenzie Vining got married here in town because she's a local guy. And she was teaching here and was over here at the Burford was the post party or whatever, and. I had a great time. I'm like, why didn't I do this before? So there was actually 2 that summer, and went to both of them. We just had, and Troy was still here. We had a really good time at both those weddings. So I'll try and make a few more of those, as long as I don't upset people. But it's touchy, especially when they're so far away.
Oh, for
it's
sure.
hard to get to all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to know them on a different level, too, and they get to know you on a different level as well, and I think that's what's important.
Yeah, they were still razzing me about a lot of stuff, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Well, hopefully, Montia have an opportunity maybe to speak with some of your young ladies, and maybe they might, some of these young ladies will realize here's a player that was in my same position just a little over a decade ago,
right?
And look what she went on to accomplish, and and she's fulfilled all of her dreams when she came to Cali. Maybe someone here can do the same.
That's Aisha Smith came back and spoke with our team. I was the assistant then, but Aisha was very, very competitive. Would fight you if you weren't doing what she felt like you were given the level of intensity and practice. And she was, and I felt like that helped our group. They kind of like, we need to pick it up a little bit, and I appreciated that.
Sure.
That '98 team was one of the. That team was really fun to watch, and
they were really good.
Very talented bunch of kids. So you guys were really good coaches that year.
If we don't have a bad day in Wichita, it was awful.
Yeah,
probably go on and make some noise.
They made you look better than you really were.
Yeah, absolutely did. Absolutely.
You look at really great coaches that year, because they just kind of throw the balls out there and stay out of their way.
That's right.
It was a fun team to watch. That was one of my favorite teams to watch since I've been here.
It was, and they're just like we lost at Neosho, and I can still that cracker box overrated, just echoing off the wall. We were ranked pretty high, and blah blah blah. And boy, that practice, and it wasn't anything Darren and I did. It was just the kids. They were like, we're not losing again, and it was pretty impressive.
That's awesome.
They were super competitive.
Love to hear stories like that.
Yeah.
This year's team, this has got to be probably one of the toughest coaching jobs for you because it's almost an entirely freshman team. I mean, you have basically one player, Mallory Jackson, that was back from last year. Zuzana Kamor was here, but, from 2 years ago was injured last season.
Right.
So, like I say, it's got to be one of your most challenging seasons just because you're dealing with so many freshmen.
It's been interesting.
bet.
We're learning. We're getting better, but
For sure.
I do think just like any player, it's a big adjustment. This level's so competitive. This league is so competitive, night in and night out. So, I don't think young kids understand they got to bring it every day. You got not just on game day, but practice. You got to improve your skill set, and you got to just dig in a little bit harder every time out. And we haven't quite figured all that out yet. We've had some games where we just have lapses where we. Fourth quarter the other night, we go 1 for 17 or whatever.
Yep.
It's just we just can't sustain the intensity we need to fight through things, and we kind of give in a little bit. And but we're getting better at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see that growth and that development.
So I hope it comes a long way.
Yeah, and Coach, you got any final questions?
No, I'm just glad you got a chance to come on. I think too with your basketball team, it's so challenging every night that takes a little bit out of you. Where in the old days, you could show up maybe, and I'm not going to name the teams, and not play very well and still win by 25. But now, man, every night's a grind.
Yeah, it's a little different in the old East-West. Now everybody's really, really good. You gotta really go night in and night out.
Yeah, and learning that intensity doesn't come easy either.
Not at all.
Because the intensity level is different now, for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Got to crank it up a great deal. So
The landscape of coaching has changed a lot since you started too. Things have changed. If you're talking to a young person that's thinking about getting into coaching, what would you tell them to try to, to give them words of advice?
I don't know. I can't convince my own son to get in. So I don't know the answer to that. I don't know what I would tell them. I know Caden would like to coach football and that, but I don't. I think it's a noble profession, and there are not enough good coaches out there. I think it's an interesting. The future is very interesting where it's going and what it's going to be. You look at Signetti. I think he's demanding and everything that all the old school guys are, and super successful, and just does it a different way.
Yeah.
And there aren't as many of those cats still out there. But there's a time and a place for all of us old people to kind of hang in there, but it's also going to be interesting what the next generation brings to it, and what happens with
it's a calling too, really, in my opinion. It's a calling, and if you're in it to make money, then it's the wrong profession.
No, absolutely.
And if you're in it because you want to help kids and you want to, and learn yourself,
right,
and watch each other grow, because that's what I felt like I did. I was different when I started than I was when I finished. I coached like the angry brother, the angry dad when I first started.
True.
When I finished, I was coaching like their grandpa.
Right,
Didn't get upset as much because you couldn't, but we still demand a lot, and you still got to hold them accountable. I don't care what area it is.
Absolutely.
But if you're not called to do this, then don't do it, because it's too much time, man.
But I think too, it's really enjoyable. It's again a noble profession, and it's a lot of fun to be in. And I go back to what I said earlier. When I was in high school, the guys wearing shorts to work and having a good time, and it seems like a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's a good job to have.
It brings out the competitor in you too.
Absolutely.
Because you get to compete on a nightly basis, and once you lose that, man, you lose a lot. So, from my own personal opinion, it's my standpoint. Like, I still miss those. I don't miss. There's a lot of things I don't miss about being employed, but there are some things I do miss, and the competition's one of them.
Competition's a big thing.
If I could sit in the dugout every day and then go home, like I'll see the next game, and not have to travel, I still might be doing it. But to look down on that kind of stuff, you got to be around your team all the time.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of other things besides game day.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
A lot of other things.
Well, Coach, while we still have you, I know you've got to get ready to go to practice, but you mentioned Kurt Signetti at Indiana. I'd like to get your thoughts on what he did with the Hoosiers program.
Unbelievable.
The all-time losingest. They've got more losses than any college football program in history, and this is a basketball school. We all know that.
Right.
But what he did to turn that program into national champions.
But I think, too, that today's climate
Yes.
has really helped, with Cuban and
A lot
some of
with
the
the
money
NIL
that's
factor.
behind you.
Right.
And you see the number of fans that showed up for that game.
Incredible.
And then you're talking $4,000 a ticket or whatever.
Yeah.
He's got something shaking there, but I'm not sure you make that change. Is my point? You make that change in the old environment because it was so tough to get by in Alabama just because of the amount of money they were spending
Yes.
on their programs, and you didn't have that type of money. And now some of those other schools, the playing field and all that stuff SMU used to do.
Yeah, right.
But they're getting now they're all doing it, and everybody. And you look at SMU, they're making a comeback also.
They sure
because
are.
They're putting money into it.
Yeah, I actually saw your former assistant coach, Troy Thrasher, about a year ago when we were down right around SMU area.
Yeah, his school's right near there.
He told me, he said, look out, this is a sleeping giant.
Absolutely.
He said, I'm telling you, he said, they've got some boosters that want to win, and they're going
Yeah, and
to.
Texas Tech, same
You
way.
can see it. Yeah, it's happening right now. It didn't
Yeah.
take long. I mean, it
No.
was overnight. They're
No,
back.
Absolutely.
That's what it is now. It's overnight success. Where Coach Snyder was at K-State, it's a 5-year plan.
Right. Yeah.
And they were willing to give him that time. Now there's not enough. They won't give you that
No.
time. If you don't win now, it's what have you done for me lately,
Right.
profession now. So I'd like to sit down and be able to hear the conversation between Coach Knight and Coach Sig
Yeah.
at Indiana.
That would be
that'd be entertaining.
Yes, it would be.
Take your notepad and just go listen. Like, oh, I was still coaching at 40.
would
This would be fun, man.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to remind you, but your next home game's got a real cakewalk coming up here.
Yeah.
Got just number 1 ranked Dodge City coming in
Yeah.
Sunday, hopefully weather permitting.
Right.
So,
Yeah. We there's some talk of moving it to Monday just from the weather coming in, and we also host this SCBL this weekend. So
That's right. Yeah.
There's a lot of things we got to work through to figure out if we can get all that stuff in.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, though, everybody come out Sunday. Right now, games are 1 and 3.
Yep.
Something were to change, we'll make sure check the Cowley Tiger website, and we'll have those changes for you. But, Coach, it's been great to have you
Guys,
today.
thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Well, it's always great to talk
This
to
is
you.
a nice
and
deal.
I can't believe after 22 years I'm still learning things about you. Though. So this was great today to find out some of the new things that I didn't know about Coach Clark.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And
Well, he's on a roll right now, so he's on a 1-game heater. So if you don't win on Sunday, it ain't mine and your fault. It's his fault.
That's right. Well, hey, Coach, thanks so much
Thanks,
again,
guys.
and best of luck. And we'll let
appreciate
you get on your way. We've got just a few other topics we'll broach on here, but we want to thank Coach Todd Clark once again for being our guest on episode 4 of Behind the Stripes. Thank you, Coach. And just as we mentioned, Cowley basketball will be coming up. We mentioned Coach Clark's team coming off of a big road win at Barton. The Tiger men, boy, they were right there. They were up 8 with 7 minutes and change left, and Barton made a push at the end, unfortunately, to clip them by 3. But both teams, big games on Sunday, so we're going to need Tiger fans come out and support your squads in a couple good ones there.
Absolutely. We talk about how tough this league is. Barton County cut down the nets 2 years ago,
Oh, I know.
and now they're 6-6,
Yep.
5-7 in the conference. That's how good a conference is. Nobody's stood still. Everybody's trying to upgrade their program. So yeah,
Right now, you're exactly right, Coach. The Tiger men are in a 5-way tie at 6-6. They're 2 games out of second place. Dodge City, if they can beat them, they're alone in first place at 9-3. If they could upset Dodge City this weekend, the Tiger men are right back within 2 games of first again, and yet it's a absolute jumbled mess.
and I would almost, I'd venture to say that I would bet there's 7 or 8, 9 teams that could win the region if they get hot at the right time and they play their best basketball of the year. And there's also teams that might not make it because they won't host a first-round playoff game that could win that tournament. So
Incredible, isn't it?
it's as balanced as I've ever seen it. And I moved here in '87, and always heard about the Jayhawk and basketball and all this and that, and it's unbelievable right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, it makes for fun games, that's for sure. I mean, you come out and you're going to watch some really good basketball, some
High
really
level, high talented, high athletic type players on the court.
For sure. And then the Tiger wrestling team, ranked number 10. They had another big win over the weekend. They beat NOC Tonkawa at Tonkawa 36-12. That was their 3rd win of the week, dual-wise. And then prior to that, last weekend, they placed 7th, which was their highest finish ever at the NJCAA coaches duel. So the Tiger wrestling team wrestling very good. And they're going to have another home duel tomorrow night, Wednesday night, against Cloud County at 7 o'clock. And, Coach, you've watched some of that wrestling team, and, boy, they've got some guys up and down that lineup.
Yeah, especially some of their bigger weights, man. They got some guys that are animals out there on that mat. So they were entertaining to watch. Yeah, I ventured out last Wednesday and watched the match, and probably venture out again this Wednesday and watch it some more. It's entertaining.
Well, and I tell you, I was there for that first duel on Wednesday. The second duel, I was watching the streaming, and I really enjoyed listening to it because got to hear a lot of interesting things. Goodness, I'm sorry, Jim Ramirez. Jim Ramirez, he's so knowledgeable about his wrestling. Obviously a longtime wrestling official and knows that sport really well. And he's talking about some of the kids we recruited, and he was really surprised to get them to come to Cowley. So Justice Circle doing a really good job with his recruiting, and once he gets them here, they're being successful on the map.
They're being developed as well. So that's a sign he got something going on.
Definitely. Well, and then for people that are excited about coming out to the Cowley College board meeting, you can come out to the Cowley College Board of Trustees meeting tonight. Those things are always open to the public at 6 o'clock. You can come listen to Dr. Michelle Schoen and other administrators give updates. That'll be down in the McAtee Dining Center, as I said, tonight at 6. Tomorrow will be the home wrestling duel versus Cloud County. It's a camo theme, so come out wearing your camouflage to help the Tiger men get another duel victory as they take on the T-Birds. Also, coming up later this week, we mentioned on Sunday, we'll have women's and men's basketball versus Dodge City. Those games at 1 and 3. And once we start picking up things going throughout the semester, we'll have some other events that might be going on in theater, choir-wise. We'll make sure and let people know of those, and we'll probably get Lindsay Ramirez or some of the people from those departments on over here to talk about what they got going on at Cowley.
All things Tiger.
Yeah.
All things Cowley for sure.
You got it. Well, it was a lot of fun listening to Coach Todd Clark today, and once again, appreciate all that Chris Ripley does behind the scenes to make our podcast what it is. And hopefully each week it just gets a little bit better and better, and we're really thankful to our guests for making it happen. And we'll finish this off with a joke for you guys. How about that? All right. I know you're really excited, Coach.
So, man, I can't wait.
How about this one? Did you guys hear about the two peanuts walking down a dark alley?
I have not.
One was assaulted. All right, there you go, guys. That's your bad dad joke of the day, and hopefully we didn't lose y'all for
We're
next week.
We're going to need a clown horn or something to call that one back.
No, hey, thank you all again for listening, and thank you, Todd Clark, and we'll catch you next week for episode 5 of Behind the Stripes. Thank you again.